Start. All right, you guys, it's so good to be here with the 2010 National Championship team. This was such a fun season, and it's so great to see all of your beautiful faces here together, even with our foreigners who joined us for the call all the way from Australia and England. So yay, we're so excited that you guys can join us. And before we dive in to talk about some of the memories and the highlights from that year, let's go around and just introduce ourselves and just say what you're doing now, where you are. Let's start with Brandy.
Hi, I'm Brandy. I live in San Diego again, and I'm the associate head coach at San Diego State. Go Terps!
And yay! And she has a lot. How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
I shouldn't get into that because that could take a lot on this call. Let's keep going. Colleen, you're up.
Hi, I'm Colleen. I'm the head coach at William & Mary down in Williamsburg, Virginia. Go Terps!
Go Terps. Lots of laxers here. Dipper.
Hey guys, I'm Dipper, and I'm the assistant coach at Boston University.
Lots of Katie. We're going to have lots. Looking at this screen, we have so many laxers here. This is great. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm the director of operations at Penn State.
Jenny. She's yelling at someone.
I feel like I'm on the Mighty Ducks, like Jenny Bella, Houston, Texas. But I'm in Houston and got 3 kids and a husband, and I work in sales, and I coach grit lacrosse.
There you go. Melise.
Hi guys, I'm Melissa. I'm in Baltimore and I'm a teacher. No kids.
Lily.
Smalls.
So I moved back to Melbourne in Australia. Come and visit, guys. Would love to have you all come and visit. And I am also a school teacher and still playing lacrosse. Hopefully the World Cup happens next year, and hopefully I'll see you there.
Oh, that's right. Back over here in Baltimore. We love it. Britt. Oh, Brittany Jones. Oh, sorry, that's not your name. Brittany Jones, you go first.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I'm back in San Diego with Brandy. Well, not with Brandy, but yes, in San Diego. And I'm a contracts manager for a company called Viasat, and they're located in San Diego. No kids. I'm married, but no kids.
Christy.
Hi, guys. Christy Black. I live in Sykesville, Maryland, and I run the lacrosse program called Finish Line Lacrosse, and I have 1 kid.
Illy.
Hi, I'm Iliana. I live in Baltimore, and I'm a recruiter with no children, down to 1 cat out of 3.
Laura.
Hi guys, I'm back in England. I am currently a teacher at Guildford High School, and I have 1 kid, and I am still playing lacrosse as well.
That's awesome. And it's 12:30 in the morning in England.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Well, we are so excited that you're here with us. Alex.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex, currently in Utah, but I'm based in Baltimore, Maryland. And no kids as well. 1 cat, a couple dogs I've left with my parents. But I run a lacrosse company with my partner in life, Christy Black.
Carissa.
Hey guys, I'm Riss. I am living in Wilmington, North Carolina, on the beach, living it up every day. I have 3 kids. I don't play lacrosse anymore, but I do a lot of working out and lifting weights.
Poist.
Hi, Brittany Poist. I'm in Carroll County, Maryland. I work at Next Step Realty as a marketing assistant. I have no kids, 1 dog, and there you go.
There you go. Ellen. Unmute yourself. There she goes.
Sorry. Oh, someone did that for you. No? Okay. Anyway. I'm Ellen. I live in Severna Park, and I have 3 kids.
All right. Spin. We see you down there. No, you got to unmute yourself too. Bottom left corner, the microphone button. Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Kath. I'm just working at Pivot Physical Therapy. I have 2 kids Here's one of them. The other's at travel soccer, hour away, and we're just living in Calvert County. Nah.
The little hug and kiss. And I overlooked, and I shouldn't have, just because Caitlin obviously is part of our staff at Maryland, but nonetheless, a huge impact player, Twarden winner, and captain on this team. So go ahead, Caitlin.
And I still coach in Maryland. So I'm very fortunate to still be with the Terps.
And there you have it. All right, you guys. Well, listen, I have like my face hurts already from sitting here and looking at all of you guys, and just thinking about that. This was 10 years ago. And it's crazy, I know, to think back that way, but what an awesome season. So let's start off and say, how did you guys remember going to the Final Four for not our freshmen? Our freshmen that year on here were who? Katie, Illy, and Alex? Emily. So you four were our freshmen on this team. So the year before, 2009, we lost in the Final Four semifinals. How much do you think that loss really fueled our fire going into 2010? This is when you guys have to talk. I'm not calling on names. You just got to step it up and give your opinions.
I think we were pretty much angry every day until we had a chance. But I think it was a big deal. I think that sucked, but I think that you started that from our very first meeting. You said that we're going to win. And so then every single day we just told everybody that we were going to win that year. And then
you remember that loss? Like I so vividly remember, because that season, what was it? So our sophomore year, Kate's junior year, and we just totally crapped the bed in going into the Final Four. And we couldn't, we blamed it on the light. We were like, oh, the lights, we can't see the lights. And I think that was the craziest thing, is that we just didn't click. But then into the next season, everything about that team clicked. Everyone enjoyed each other. Everyone loved each other on and off the field. And I felt like that's what propelled, obviously in the hard work on the field, but I felt like that's what propelled us to the championship, and the biggest difference from the year before that.
Well, before we I
was going to say, and I think in 2009, that was our first Final Four for Maryland in a while. We just kind of had no idea what to expect. In that game, we were literally like deer in headlights. So we finally kind of got a taste of the Final Four, a taste of playing in front of thousands of fans, and having that experience. So we kind of knew what to expect going in the next year.
Well, and then I also think the prepping of all of the surround sound of people cheering on the speakers that we set up outside of practice prepped us a little bit more than when we first showed up to the game and everyone's screaming like crazy, and we're like, what is happening? I think finally after that, when we clicked and actually played the surround sound of cheering and all that, we knew what to expect after that.
All right, before we dive into that actual championship weekend, let's talk about this season as a whole. When you guys think back to the 2010 season, what are some of your favorite memories from that year? Now, Kenneth, Caitlin, and I talked, and we have some too. I'm interested to see if these come up, but I'm going to wait till I give ours until we go up. Here comes Putty. All right, go ahead. Who's got a favorite memory from the 2010 season?
Blizzard. The Blizzard. That was really fun. Yeah. Not that it play on Ludwig, but
that was crazy.
I did enjoy the Blizzard.
Yeah, you made us walk to Comcast and do a run in the gym. I vividly remember that.
You can't forget about Run Club and all the.
Oh no, certainly do not forget about that.
Definitely can't forget about that.
I was just thinking Run Club was the motivating factor. It was this rep is North Carolina, this rep is Syracuse. That made me run harder.
What's Run Club?
Oh, I love that answer.
What a good answer.
Just kidding. Sorry, I love you guys.
That was actually really funny.
Run Club.
I ran 30 on the run test.
I know. She's like, do you want me to stop, or can I run some from other people? I'm like, I don't know how to answer that.
I love all people. I'll sacrifice anything for everyone.
I remember going on sprints, to change the subject, with Spin up back by the Knox boxes, and we'd sprint after practice up the hill, and she would just be cruising. I'm like, I don't understand how you run so fast.
Like an antelope.
She's like, literally, the faster I get up the hill, then the quicker it's over with. And I'm like, after doing sprints with the team.
That's my papa making me run, even when it hurts. Just get it done.
What?
I think that's why, oops, sorry, Kathy.
No, go, Laura. You got
I was
another
just
memory?
gonna say, I think that's what I love about the 2010 team. It was always people going out and beyond. And I think that's what made us a really special group. And it was never like moaning to go and do extra bits and pieces. It was everybody loved doing that, which I think made us have that edge when we were going in for that Final Four in the last bit.
I also think everybody believed in each other. There was not like everybody believed in their teammates. The coaches believed in us all. Like, and I think that also was what separated us.
We had a couple.
Miss everyone.
We also had Spencer.
Yes.
This is true.
But
you guys,
was that the year that Kenneth had us do those like defensive questionnaires where you had to be like, if Kenneth is, or if Gallagher's in this situation, she does this. If Melissa's in this situation, she does this. I've always referenced like the thought process around what your teammates are thinking made such a difference because you weren't so focused on your game. You were focused on everybody else and trying to feed what they needed.
Yeah, good point. Now we have a couple funny ones from our coach's text, and one of them, well, because I'm going to pick on Dipper later, but I'll pick on her now too. Do you remember when we showed up at, what was it, James Madison, and Dipper didn't have her helmet?
That's right. But he didn't have her cleats either.
Oh, we got Putty on the call now.
We just talked about how Putty had 2 backpacks, 2 wallets, like 4 pennies, 3 pairs of cleats, and they were like all in different locations. They were like in her car, in the house, in the locker room, at a different locker room, at the field. Brandy and I had to
try living with Putty. One day I wake up, she's just wearing my t-shirt. I'm like, that's my t-shirt. She's like, oh, small balls. I'm wearing it.
Small balls.
Kathy, do you remember when I had to explain to you that I was missing practice because I had to go get my braces off? And you're like, you can't. You have braces?
You tried to do that, and Carissa tried to miss practice to go on a job interview the week of Final Four. I was like, what? Like, Carissa, playing for a national championship, you can't just choose not to go to practice today.
I will tell you, though, I turned that job down very quickly because the guy was a jerk. So.
Oh my God. Okay, here's another one that we came up with today. Do you remember we're at Penn State and we went out to dinner and then we went to practice and everyone was too fat and too full to practice?
Yes, absolutely. That was so hard. I almost threw up.
And then we got ice cream afterwards.
Then we got ice cream.
Is that ice cream at the place on campus? Is that that was?
Yeah.
Oh, the amount of food.
Well, and then we had couldn't practice, and then we had a really tough first half that next time. So it was probably my halftime talk that was like, we're never going to eat again. That made us maybe kick a game into gear. What else? Dipper, Final Four when she shows up without her uniform?
That was bad. Yeah.
Not even Final Four, national championship.
No, it was the Final Four. It was before Syracuse. And I remember walking out of that locker room and just being like, so Kathy, I forgot my jersey. And you're like, it's okay. Just go in there and focus on saving the ball, and we'll send Mike to go get it.
And Mike crushed it. Mike was like back to the hotel. Drew got it, and he was like, I got it. It was like the best job ever, and Mike crushed it.
For Katie, Illy, Melise, and Alex, how did you guys feel as freshmen coming into a team that just lost in the Final Four the year before, coming in with all the girls you see on this screen around you? What was that like, and how was your transition into a freshman season?
I'll go. I reference you guys a lot, actually, probably more than you guys know, but I felt like the leadership on this team was some of the best that I've ever experienced. I had never been around such like incredible lacrosse players doing things that I had never seen people do, including Katie and Illy and Melissa. But I didn't think I was good enough to be on this team, did not understand what I was doing out there. And every single day, everyone was pulling me up, telling me how awesome I was. Brandy, I remember after practice was like, are you going to go to goal? Or are you just going to like keep running in circles? Like you don't know what to do. And it just like, though, everyone had their way of kind of, carrying us along, and like whether it was on the field, off the field, that I think laid the foundation for all of us. Whether it was like funny and happy and spin, just like telling me keep moving, or it was like Smalls like actually a little yelling at me, telling me to keep moving. Or like, Alex, keep cutting. I'll throw you the ball. You're so tall. But no, I mean, they were like, this group was just, it was the perfect balance of fun and badass and competitive and I had never experienced, and still to this day I've never experienced anything like this team.
I think to just echo what Alex is saying about the leadership, I definitely think coming into a team with so much success, I definitely was certainly like intimidated of the atmosphere. And I remember going through the first run test being like, oh, I'm definitely in shape. And then I think it was just so mental that I was like, yeah, I think I'm tired. And then Carissa was like, no, like you have to run the last 5. And I was like, okay. And like, you just push through it. And I think like the leadership and the work ethic, like you were talking about with Spin and Carissa, it just like carried you through. And I really think that's what helped us all the way to
Y'all giving me too much credit right now. I'm ignoring my child, but I appreciate it. I would cry.
Yeah, I think that like
and Spin doesn't know how to mute her phone now.
Is it still muted?
No, you got to mute it when you're done talking.
Oh, dagnabbit.
Yeah. Microphone. Yeah, there you go. Good. All right. Go ahead, Melise.
I just think like the seniors specifically, you guys were just so welcoming to all of us. I just remember being terrified all the time in the beginning. And like, I remember being at practice and you have Caitlin like driving at you and I'm playing defense and she's just going by me left and right. And I was like, okay, no idea what I'm doing out here. But then like you guys were just so welcoming, inviting us everywhere. And it kind of like set up how we want it to be when we were leaders as seniors. So I really appreciated everything that you guys did for us as freshmen.
That's awesome.
Yes, I agree with what everyone has said. Just like on a personal note, as a defender, I didn't know who I was as a player yet. And the way that I play can be very frustrating because I don't even know when I'm going to go and like do something. So I appreciate like the support of like people with experience kind of letting me do my thing. And you all helped me become a better player because you were able to step back and be like, okay, she doesn't know when she's going to go. I don't know when she's going to go. So you all were super supportive defensively. Like our unit was, I appreciate that the most, that because I didn't know where I was head-wise, you all kind of grasped that and you made it work. You made my style work with like what you all had already known.
And that's all right, Ellie, because you got some serious knockdowns, so you could just go when you wanted to go.
I was just thinking, I would have never known you didn't know what you were doing, because I just remember being so impressed with you as a freshman, like, she's so good. Like, teach me some of your knockdown ways. Like, no one would have known that, Ellie.
Like, I was able to go and make those risky choices because I knew how good you were all behind me. So I credit that.
Awesome. You're awesome.
You do it's an illy when we're watching people play, and I'm like, well, that's like an illy, right? Like she's gonna do her own thing, we'll cover it behind her and she can go and do her own thing. And
I'm sorry.
Really, that and when you chuck the ball in the general vicinity of Katie and make Katie run faster or slower or do the most incredible thing to catch your 50-yard bomb.
Yeah.
One time
again, because I knew she was gonna get it, so I was like, you know what? There's a radius she can
like
grasp.
there was literally like 5 people around and I knew she was just gonna launch it. I had to figure it out.
Yeah,
Katie, you remember when she hit you in the back with the ball? You weren't looking. She just threw it. We were at a home game and it just bounced off your back and you just turned around and picked it up.
Oh gosh.
It's all about knowing your strengths, Sil, right? Chucking the field was a better shot to make it to Katie chucking it up the field than running it up yourself.
Exactly. There was a better chance we would have a successful something if I just threw it at her.
You know, I think to go off of what Illy said too, one thing you guys have always done really well is just embrace each other for who you are, right? What do you guys remember of bringing out the strengths in each other through this? What do you remember about the ACC tournament that year? You know, to remind you, I think we came off of a loss to Carolina earlier on. Is that right? And then we went to the ACC tournament, which we hosted that year up at Ludwig. What do you remember from that weekend?
I think I remember specifically rooming with Kate. I think this was this year. And I was sleepwalking and talking, and I woke up and I was like, "Kate, there's a fire!" And I was throwing stuff in the shower. Like, this is the night before our game. And she was like, "What? Are you serious, buddy?" Like, woke up with a false alarm. There's no fire. She's like, "Go back to bed."
I vaguely remember that. Something like that.
Was this when we played UNC?
Yeah, we played them in the championship. And I think, Kenneth, you'll remember, was it 10-5 final? Was that what it was? We had such an amazing defensive performance. And I don't remember a lot of things, but I do remember that. Because I remember walking off being like, what an amazing defense we played that day. Do you guys, any memories of that?
This was the game, you guys. Remember Austin made that risky but incredible highlight video?
Yeah.
Where it was us, where we got card after card and burnt. We were like parking cones.
Now I do.
Like, we all left that locker room. Like, we could have individually knocked over 100 walls because we were like, that was incredible. We're pissed off. We're fired up and ready to go. And it was like super risky, but awesome at the same time.
I remember after watching that video and just playing at home that weekend, just having a feeling like we knew we were going to win. I don't think we ever doubted it for 1 second. We believed in each other so much, and we wanted that so badly. Especially having lost to them before. So I don't know, I just had no doubt in my mind. I don't think any of us did that we were going to lose that game.
That song had like such a lasting impact. I don't know if you guys remember pulling into Towson and like banging on the bus walls when we saw our parents as we like pulled into the locker room. Like, I just remember that song being like, no, we're not going to lose. Like, from that second on, it was convinced. I was done.
Yeah, was this the year we went to Stomp?
Yes.
So that was our locker room routine. Remember, you guys were like, I just remember people banging on things and jumping up and down. I asked Ryan today too. I'm like, what do you remember from 2010? And he says, you guys danced a lot. I was like, yes.
Thank you, Leg.
Not only did I learn
great dance-offs.
Well, we got some good dancers in this group here. Yeah, there was a lot to
Small
learn.
with her one hand move with her little feet going all fast.
I still try to do that. I still don't understand how she does that. And for how often I go to the bars, which is not often, maybe just around with my kids, I like try to dance and I'm like, I just don't understand how she did that.
I don't either. You're not alone. I tried.
Moving on to the Final Four that year. So, yes, it was, remember being at Towson where we were in 2009, and we talked about pulling in a great, just environment coming in there. We played Syracuse in the semifinals. Alex, do you remember when Smalls got sent out of the game and I look at you to put you in to take an empty net 8-meter?
Kathy, I don't think my goggles were on. I don't think my cleats were on. We were like, at that point, I was a spectator. I was like, I'm not going in this game. We are winning. Like, we're awesome. Smalls gets carded. And they like didn't have a goalie or something. Didn't have a back.
Remember they tackled Smalls.
She tackled Smalls.
She was carded
out.
Right. But I feel like they didn't have a backup goalie. And I was like, oh, they're trying to ice me out. I'm like, can you put someone in there? I would rather miss with a goalie in there than have my dad telling me how terrible I am when I miss on an empty goal in front of 10,000 people. But yes, I will thank you for doing that to me. That was
funny. I remembered that today too. What do you remember about the championship game?
Wait, you just like glossed over the fact that we stayed in that weird hotel with like the Comic-Con people. They were drinking at like 10 a.m. at our breakfast, and they were saying cheers to collegiate women's lacrosse, and they were wearing costumes, and they like
they were like working out with costumes in the gym.
In our hotel, you had to walk 10 minutes to get to your room, like down a hallway, take a run to your left, and this 40th room on your left.
I think you made us move our rooms. I think you were like, they are not staying in the same vicinity. They need to be in their own section.
Remember in the bathroom, like the bathroom by the breakfast room, they were practicing for the talent show. So there was like singers and like jugglers. And you're like, oh, this is fun.
Forgot about that.
I forgot about that too.
Oh, man. Sorry, Griffin just got home from soccer practice.
I think for the championship game, I never thought we were going to lose. Like, even the score, and that could have been like my ignorant freshman self, just like, I'm here, we're good. Like, I don't know, but like not a second, nothing in my head was like, we're in trouble. Like,
really, I was exactly the same. I was just like, kind of like looked at the scoreboard. I was like, oh, that's a bit annoying.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shoo.
You guys, do you guys remember
That's a
rushing
bit
the
annoying.
field and Jenny tackled Sarah Max?
Yes. But I agree. I never thought we were gonna lose. I
The
was like, oh
quietest
gosh,
human
this
on our
sucks.
team, and Jenny just took her down.
I tripped.
I just remember being on the field, and like one time I think they scored like their 6th goal, or maybe it was like they scored 3 like really fast something, and me, Carissa, and like Kate's look at each other. Everyone just kind of laughed. You're like, oh, what? Like, and it wasn't, and we weren't worried, we weren't stressed, and we were like, okay, well, like this is what a championship game feels like. Like, let's play better. And like not once did anyone yell or like get upset or like, gosh, why'd you miss that?
It all comes from Kathy and
Brandy,
Ken.
I got upset when I had to find out what an indirect play was. I was like,
Oh yeah.
we need every
I
goal
forgot
right
about that.
And I was just like, why can't I score? I don't understand.
Yeah, I remember Kathy coming in at halftime and just being like, haha, okay, so that was interesting. Like, good job, you guys. We're like, okay.
I remember Brian coming out during a timeout, and you guys like went and like met, and then he just kept me in goal and took shots on me. He's like, we're not taking you out. He's like, we believe in you. And then that totally changed everything. And then I remember Kenneth spraying me down with bug spray every time I came out.
Yeah, we talked about that this morning. So we had gone down in the game 6-0. And it happened felt like pretty quickly. And I remember looking at, our sideline, our coaches, and being like, what's happening, right? And Northwestern they're a phenomenal team. And we knew that, okay, let's take a break. Let's regroup. Brian, go shoot on Dipper so she can see the ball, because she hasn't seen it for the last 6 times that it went right by her. And then it was just kind of a change. We chipped our way back. Smalls, we got it. Katie, you scored, or we were going to score, and they took the goal away because they said it was an inadvertent whistle. And then they told me I needed to keep myself under control on television because I was about to lose my mind. I'm like, do you realize we're losing like 6-0? And then Smalls scored, and or an indirect play, that gets taken back. So we're learning new rules as we go. But we tied it up. It was 8-8, at halftime. And I remember walking into the locker room and just laughing, being like, well, you guys, here's what we did. We kept 10,000 fans in our seats. Like, that's what we just did. And they're here for another half of lacrosse. And I think all of us knew at that point, like, we knew we were going to finish this game out without a doubt.
Yeah, I think at one point, every time that they would score, we would come together on like the defensive side and be like, we click sticks and be like, all right, we got this. And then they would score again. We click again, be like, all right, we got this. And then we do it again. And literally by like the 6th time, we're like, we got
cool.
this.
None
Like,
of
let's
us
turn it
felt-
around here. What's happening?
None of us felt the feeling that we were gonna lose.
Right.
It's cool to hear like the defensive side, but like I know I never felt that. And hearing like the other girls, none of us ever felt like we were gonna lose.
I think we also like walking, I feel like different than our 2009 season, walking onto the field for that championship game, like our alumni, I feel like it was like nothing that I've ever heard before in my life, which is why I feel like probably so many of us go back and come to all the Final Four games because we're like, we want to be as loud as they were for us in that game, because it felt like home field advantage to the max. Like, we just knew that there was so many people there supporting Maryland, and I feel like every kid in the stands was a Maryland fan, which was awesome.
When I remember they started the announcements and anthem, and I have tears just falling down my face. And I think Kenneth, Quinn, and Brian are like, you need to get it together. And I was like, but the environment was so emotional, right? Like, you just want this so bad for you guys, and knew you're capable of it. And the stadium was just packed and awesome. What were your just favorite memories of the overall weekend? Like, the clock hit 0. What was going through your head? What did you feel like? I mean, the tailgate was pretty fun. We all had a great time there. We talked about the hotel, I guess, and the crazy people that were in it with us. Dipper forgetting her jersey.
Do you remember when Brandon announced that you were having a baby?
Yeah,
that's a big, big, I think, reason why we also won, because you and Brian said you'd have breath.
You said you'd have a baby for
Yes.
Like, we were like, the two things that motivated the Terps, I was at ACC's when you said that we could get anything we wanted at
Sakura.
And it was like, Putty was like dying, and she's like, double rice, double veggies, filet, shrimp, sushi. And you were like, yeah, it was during the game. And then that and the baby. And Brandy was like, everyone, Kathy's having a baby. And then congratulating you. You're like, no, like I'm not.
No, stop. We're not. No. Like tell my whole family that I haven't been keeping secrets from them.
That tailgate after the championship game onto the bus, onto like going home, and we went to the mall like on campus, and everybody was just on campus, you know, got that Baltimore accent. Runs thick. It was like legit, like besides my wedding and birthing my children, like the top 5 best moments of my life. Like it was like just the coolest. It still gives me chills to think about. I have a husband who also played in the game, and we were dating at the time, and he was like, never have I ever experienced such happiness of such like an amazing group of individuals, because he knew everyone. Like it was just good. Like I don't even know like another word to describe that feeling at that moment. It was just amazing.
I think
like even our parents, like everyone, it was just fun. Like everyone, it was like you just looked around and everybody had a grin on their face from like ear to ear. Not a single person was frowning. Like it was just from like little kid to grown adult, just happiness, like music, dancing. We had our water bottles we were spraying with like our matching t-shirts at the tailgate. Brittany Dipper had her uncle come and DJ it or whatever. Like it was awesome.
That was poised.
That was poised.
Yeah, poised. Yes.
It was so much fun. And then we ended that weekend when that went in, remember? And it's like such a fun week after. And then we went to celebrate Caitlin winning the Tewarton. And that was just what an exciting honor. And I know Caitlin would say this, so I can say it for her, but I know for her, she felt what a way to what a powerful team, you know, our team was in 2010, which led her to kind of achieve that. So I mean, that was exciting, right? You guys were down there, some of you down there with her celebrating that too. Memories of that.
Hashtag we're on camera.
That's right.
I had to unmute. Sorry.
Oh gosh.
Hi, gals.
Hey, gals.
Hey, gals.
But it's such a fun week when it's over, and then to kind of cap it out with keeping the team together and just enjoying each other's company, celebrating it with the Tewarton, and then getting ready for summer camps. I mean, like, what is better than that? What great way to go.
Because Caitlin won it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It falls around her birthday. So it's like a birthday, Tewarton, like we got to do a double whammy right now.
Just crushing life.
Awesome. I just all I wanted for my birthday was a national championship, and the
I
fourth
know
one was awesome. But I think that was more of just like because of this group of people, that award happened and what we were able to accomplish that season.
Okay.
And I remember being like looking.
Stop being so humble.
I'll spin. But I remember like walking into that like auditorium where you hang out before, and like literally all of you guys were there, and that just made me so happy.
Yeah, that was really fun. So if I said, well, I'm going to say, not if, recap your memories of your 2010 season, recap this team in one word. What would your one word be?
Love. Amazing.
Special.
Good.
I feel like we were so like everyone's still so close, like everyone that's on the screen.
I feel like I can't do one word because I just feel like the winning kind of wrapped up everything that whole year meant and that whole group. So it was just kind of like, I remember hugging Dipper, and I can like see myself, there's like picture like my head is like, like, cause it was just like a relief, like, okay, this group got it. Like we did what we were supposed to do because, and I remember too, like Kenneth and Brian thanking us for breaking their losing streak of losing in championship. And it was like, it felt like so good to like have Kathy's like first head coach national championship. And it just literally was all picture perfect ending to like a group that was so fun. And it was just funny because me and Putty started filming as soon as the year started because we knew we were going to win. And we said we were going to make that whole video and send it to Ellen. We never sent it to Ellen. Not like Ellen, but like, you know, famous Ellen. But we just started as soon as our first practice, we showed ourselves walking in. And like, that was like, cause we're going to film this whole thing cause we're going to win this national championship. And there was just never a doubt. And even though we had that you know, we lost to UNC or whatever. That was just kind of annoying and it didn't count. But it all just led to Austin making that really cool video, which became our theme song, which became like the theme song in life of it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But like all of that kind of just played into like that storybook ending. So I don't have one word. Those are all my words.
That's Brandy for you. Brandy's
There
not
it
a
is.
one-worder. Anyone else with one word? I can go. Oh, you have one who had one. Gal?
Ayo, Katha!
That's all I got.
What'd you say? We couldn't hear you.
Doc Jams.
Oh. All right. My one word, and I'm going to use this to kind of sign off from our thing. Don't hang up, but just from what we're doing. But my one word, when I look back on the 2010 season, would be proud. And I think we sat there as coaches and players, and I'm probably going to cry because I'm so proud of all of you. But what a season. We went through so many things, up and downs. We had a lot of close games that year. You know, we had a lot of close games, a lot of fun memories, but you look back to what we accomplished. And then I look at this screen and I look at all of you and where you are now, and I'm still proud. I mean, there's still one word that I can say to describe every single one of you on the screen is how awesome. So proud of this group of badass women, and you're all doing awesome things. And I love when you said you guys are all still so close, because you know, that's what it's all about. But again, to wrap this up, I think my word for the 2010 season is proud. You guys are awesome. Keep crushing life like you're doing, and stay close with each other, and keep cheering on the Terps, because we need it as we move forward into our 2021 season. Go Terps.
Go Terps.